What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Adam. It is chaos to come back, and I've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. It's July 23rd, and it's just a lot of random things come to mind. I jot it down, talk about this, talk about that, etc., etc., and I'm just trying to get through it. And once again, I'm not the breaking news guy. It's not, these are not up to the minute breaking news videos of what's happening in the world today when you're watching it. I'm not even the guy in when a high school gets shot up by a school shooter and the news guy is there the next day. We're live in front of the school where some stuff happened yesterday, but right now nothing's happening at all, right? I'm not even that guy. If you want the live, up-to-date information about what's going on, you could tune into the live stream from 6 to 8 p.m. That's Central Time, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, whatever it is where you live. I won't run any commercials during the live stream, but if you're late to the party and you're watching the replay, you're gonna see some ads and get paid. So, Adam@litgood.com, and if you want to support the channel, check out links, find out more down below in the description, and always shoot the thumbs up. Shoot the thumbs up if you want, or the thumbs down. So this one guy, you know who I'm talking about, that troll that shows up, the one who has to keep making fake Google accounts. He's got me on the schedule now, so as soon as the video goes live, I get a thumbs down right away because I can see it. I see the shit come in. It's always now right when the video goes live. So this guy who made 25 different Google accounts so that he could come to the live stream or the video and leave a dumbass shitty troll comment and get banned for life, so that he has to go and create a new Google account. Well, he must have created a Google account just to come give it a thumbs down. And it's right off the bat. So if you can't stand that motherfucker, throw your boy a couple of thumbs ups. Make 20 fake Google accounts just so you can come back and give me 20 thumbs up. It's up to you to make this happen. So I don't get it, man. And it started, I'm looking at the day, because I don't get enough traffic. I don't have enough subscribers that I can look at the analytics and be like, damn, that's exactly when it happened, when I started kicking him off the channel. And I know it has to be the same guy. It's funny because the stats show that it happened right at this day, and every single day, boom, 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 boom. I get one thumbs down from this guy every single time. It is amazing that there's that out there there's this complete loser, this worthless piece of shit that has nothing better to do than troll a backwoods YouTube guy because he's mad, or she, and has some personal vendetta against me. Probably because of what I did. And I mean, come on down to Houston and we'll have a talk. Let's see how that goes. I just think it's fucking weird. It's like, I feel like a hot chick that has some creepy stalker that she can't get rid of, and always sending her weird messages on her Instagram and her OnlyFans page and all that shit. And she can't even walk out to her car in the parking lot without a security escort, But the trolls, they're everywhere, man. If you're going to be on social media, guess what? You're going to have a troll. So you're going to have at least one. You're going to have multiple trolls. It could be one person pretending to be multiple trolls. It could be multiple trolls. I mean, this guy would create fake Google accounts so he could be a troll and leave a comment and then log in as a different comment and respond to the first troll comment pretending to be somebody else, to make it seem like a bunch of people had a conversation. But it was all him. I was watching the Prepper Nurse 1 live stream last night. I was working. I got a notification that I saw it on the YouTube homepage or whatever. I was like, oh, I like him. Click. Within 5 minutes, someone was trolling him and calling him a piece of shit about this reason or that, something to do with his daughter. And this troll was like bad mouthing the dude's daughter. And he was like, the fuck you are, out. He kicked him out. And then he addressed the comments that the troll had made. But I'm like, you can't even watch a live stream of somebody who has a decent sized audience. He had like almost 300 people watching this live stream, and motherfuckers are just showing up to leave one stupid ass comment so they can get kicked off the show. And it's like, you don't got nothing else to do? For real? Like, that's your, like, go make your own fucking YouTube channel and you can talk all the shit you want and nobody will kick you off your own channel. Fucking retard. But that's what they do. I mean, it does not matter what you do. So yeah, I mean, I'm getting this thumbs every time I post a new video. Boom, thumbs down. Within like probably 10, these motherfuckers got an alert on his phone. Oh, he posted a new video. I gotta go give him a thumbs down because I can't leave comments anymore because he kicked me off. Like, I don't know. I guess this guy has a problem with what I went to prison for. But I did go to prison, so I mean, I guess that wasn't enough. I mean, I don't know how I can accommodate the special needs of this guest of our channel here. Do I have to apologize in a certain way or donate money to some fucking cause? Or I don't know, why don't you call the FBI and call my probation officer and let them know that they should put me in prison again because you're mad at me because I didn't go to prison long enough or some other shit. I don't know. Do what you got to do. But my only point, I don't give a fuck about this guy. I'm not, I'm going to talk about some other shit. We're going to have a good time, and then I'm going back to doing my thing. And at some point, I'll be watching the Tour de France. I'm like 5 stages behind. Who cares? Just like you're a week behind my life when you watch this video, I'm 5 days behind the Tour de France now. I don't care. They're in the Pyrenees. I don't know where they are, but to me, they're in the Pyrenees, going through the mountains, beautiful scenery, all of that. But the point I'm making is it doesn't matter what you do, who you are, what your content is about. You could be church, you could be pure church. I love Jesus, nothing wrong. Never swear, never say anything controversial. Someone's gonna be a dick and troll your Jesus channel. You could be anything. You could have a Star Wars channel. Someone's gonna fucking troll you. It doesn't matter what you are. Someone's gonna show up and be a stupid piece of shit. That's the point. If you want to do it, do it. Don't let these people sway your opinion as, well, I don't know if I can deal with all these assholes that are gonna come at me as soon as I do this. Fuck it. They're gonna come. And it doesn't matter. There's a dude out there with nothing better to do than to troll a channel that's got 15 people watching a live stream. He's acting as if he has ever had any kind of influence on the actual world, when in reality, if you were to vanish from this earth, nobody would care. Nobody would even notice that you're gone. Maybe your mom, because the bedroom that you're living in at her house would be empty now. But I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't even notice because some other idiot troll would just show up to the channel and start trolling it, and I would just assume it's you. So, go ahead. I mean, I know you want to do something real. I know you want to take some action, but you're confined to your mom's spare bedroom because you've never done anything useful with your life. And so you have to pretend that you actually have some sort of effect on the world. And I find it amusing. It's funny. So, go ahead and create a new account so you can come back and talk your shit, you fucking retard, and then I can go, bye, and waste all your fucking time again. Knock yourself out. So, let's see. Speaking of idiots living in their mom's bedroom, I was watching random videos while I worked today. Saw a video. At first, it was going to be one of these unjust sentences, like mine was. Where, let me just talk about it. So, and there was a YouTube video. They brought this old guy in. He was like 6 years old or something. They were doing the whole good cop, bad cop. They bring him into a room with a padded, like a nice comfy chair. When nobody expects the Inquisition when they show up with the comfy chair. You know what I'm saying? But they brought out the comfy chair, like a big old padded lounge chair, and they're like, "Hey man, how you doing? Oh, I'm Mr. Friendly Cop." And they got talking to him for a minute, and then bad cop shows up and starts rattling him, and of course this dumbass old serial killer fucks up and he basically admitted that he killed a bunch of girls by bumbling around and not asking for a lawyer when he should have. And but I'm just watching because it was funny watching this fucking dumb old man bumble around. But then they read off his sentence that he got for, he got convicted of murdering this girl, and they read off his sentence, and the judge gave him 7 years to life. And I'm like, to what? 7 fucking years? For being a fucking serial killer? Where is this? What the fuck is this 7 years that we're talking about? You mean he can go, if he's on good behavior in prison, a serial killer can come home in 7 years? Like, was he gonna get on parole or some shit? And it's like, I got 2 years for fucking Twitter posts. But I could have been a serial killer and I'd be coming home 2 years after my current probation ends? Like, come on. But then I was about to be like, man, this country is so fucked. But then I had to hit play again, keep watching the video before I before I totally went off the rails. I'm thinking, he won't get parole. Maybe it's 7 years to life. So it could be 7 years, it could be life. I mean, if he goes in front of a Democrat judge he might get 7 years. But anyway, while he was locked up, I don't know, they brought back the comfy chair. I don't know what they did. They got him to confess to another murder. They dragged his ass into court. He got convicted of another one. There's a whole bunch of dead women, but they got to go one at a time. And so he got a second life sentence to be served consecutively after the first one. So now if he dies in prison and somehow he comes back to life, he still has to spend his life in prison for the rest of his life. And then if he dies again and he comes back to life again, does that mean he gets to go home? I don't know. It's like, why can't a judge just sentence you to life in prison until you're like dead? Like not almost dead, but actually dead. Like, why can't they just make that the sentence? Why do they got to come up with this like, well, could be 7 years, could be life, we don't fucking know. You only killed 9 women, so 7 years, you got a chance to come home. Like, where are they coming up with that shit? Why can't they just make it simple? Consecutive, like, we're gonna give you 10 consecutive life sentences. So, I mean, Jesus came back from the dead once. He brought his buddy Lazarus back from the dead once, so if they each had a life sentence, when they come back, they're good to go. But if you got 2 life sentences that are consecutive, well, then you're fucked. And some of these killers get 7 of those. It's like, so you gotta die and come back 7 times before you get to go home? Come on. What if they can figure out if reincarnation is real, and a serial killer who got 7 consecutive life sentences comes back and they know who he is when he's reincarnated? Does the baby get sentenced to life in prison? Something to think about. Something to think about. We got a lot of strange shit going on in this world, and it would not surprise me in the least if that were the case. And so, but yeah, I mean, everybody dies, right? We're talking about, fuck, man. We're talking about Ozzy Osbourne died. Like, I mean, you know, nobody saw that coming, but even so, all I'm saying is, you know, when the family of a famous old celebrity starts posting all over social media that he's just fine, he's not about to die, he's perfectly healthy, stop speculating about it, that means the person's about to die. Like, they'll be doing that with Joe Biden. When Joe Biden's about to die, which he probably is, but when he's about to die, they'll be gaslighting the fuck out of you. Joe Biden's fine. He's never been healthier. He's never been more alert. All that shit. Give him a week. He's gone. If his wife, Dr. Jill, starts posting that Joe is just fine, he's never been more alert, he's never been more active, it's the best sex I've ever had in 50 years, etc., 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 he's got like 4 days left and it's over. So it'll probably happen the day he gets indicted for his, you know, for stealing the election and sniffing girls' hair and taking a trip to Jeffrey Epstein's island and whatever the fuck else he did. But see ya. But I mean, anyway, so we all knew Ozzy, you know, he did his final farewell concert. I really mean it this time. I'm never doing it again unless somebody, well, wants me to, but no, I'm not actually. No, I'm not doing it again. But if there's money, and you know, there's money on the table, but no, this is really my last farewell concert. Final. That's my final concert. It's my final answer. So, I mean, the dude couldn't even, you know, they brought out a big black comfy chair for him to sit on because he couldn't. I mean, I saw a couple of clips. He was all right. I got a couple of comments on my channel. Mopar guy Roger. Ozzy just died. Sad days. Yeah, it is. I heard. I mean, this is all rumors. I don't know what's true. They've been saying that Ozzy had a suicide pact with his wife. And even though that his kids said that was a load of horse shit, it made me think about things for a minute. I'm like, you know, if I ever had a suicide pact with my wife, I'm sorry, but I'm going to insist that you have to go first. Fuck that. Or I'm not doing it. Fuck all that. I'm not falling for that fucking bullshit. Oh my God, especially if I'm rich. I can see how this is gonna go right off the bat. You know, I pull the plug and I go first, and then I'm standing around in heaven for like an hour and a half, like that guy in the meme. Right? Like, where is she? Come on, what the fuck, man? And like, it's going to take me like an hour and a half to 2 hours of checking my watch when I get to heaven to realize this bitch ain't coming. I got duped. So, yeah, fuck that shit. Suicide pact with my wife. Yeah, you go first. Her version of it is she'll live off of my money for the rest of her life. My version is I'll go find someone young. All right. Ozzy, I mean, if Sharon went first, Ozzy could get an 18-year-old girlfriend if he wanted to, or a 21-year-old that could legally drink. He could do that. Hugh Hefner had, 15, 20-year-olds on it, was gathered around his deathbed. Oh, Hugh, we love you so much. They loved his money so much. Tom Jackie McGuinn said, so sad. Glad I got to see him live. And I'm like, I have a hard time I don't know. Am I supposed to give you guys a thumbs up for your comment? Because it's not really a thumbs up kind of a situation, you know. I got to see Ozzy live once myself. I attended Ozzfest in the late 1990s, and I got to see him perform on his own, followed by a set with Black Sabbath and all the original members of Black Sabbath. And he didn't bite the head off of a bat or anything crazy like that, but it was a great time. And I also got to see Dimebag Darrell with Pantera. They were one of the opening bands. I actually had to look this up because I got curious. It was June 7th, 1997 at Star Lake Amphitheater outside of Pittsburgh. I don't know what the fuck they call it. It's like Heinz Field. But Star Lake Amphitheater has 1.5 billion different names it's had. Every 2 years it has a new name. Nobody knows what the fuck the name is. We know it's Star Lake Amphitheater. That's what it's always been. If you don't know, then you know. The lineup was on the main stage, Machine Head. I forgot about that, but yeah, I saw Machine Head at Ozzfest. I saw them at the Penny Arcade in Rochester, New York. That was fucking wild. Seeing a band like that in a tiny little club is fucking insane. I got a drumstick from the drummer when he threw it out into the crowd. I don't know. I mean, all that kind of shit. I had a time capsule, and I lost it during the whole FBI thing. And Fear Factory, Type O Negative with Peter Steele, who's no longer with us. I saw Type O Negative at a small club, and I ended up with Peter Steele's microphone. No shit. My friend of mine jumped up to grab some guitar picks off of his mic stand because he had a collection, and the mic stand came down into the crowd. And I mean, this fucking show was wild. We were climbing up on the stage and stage diving into the crowd, and this was like the last show at the Metropole, which was the club in Pittsburgh. They had to revamp their entire concert arrangement so people couldn't get on stage anymore and do all that shit because of this concert. So I was on stage with Peter Steele, fucking fist bump, jump out into the crowd, crowd surfing, all that shit. I was like, 19, 18, probably 19, 20 years old, somewhere in there. The microphone stand came down into the crowd. The fucking microphone landed right on my chest. And I was like, huh? Got it. And I fucking tucked it into my pants. And they're up on the band. And this was their last song. So they were already doing their encore. And they were basically good night, And my friend goes up to get some guitar picks. And I end up with a fucking microphone. They're up on the stage, going, hey, whoa, we're gonna need our microphone back, asshole. And they didn't know who had it. And we left, and I had it. And so I had that thing for years in my collection of random shit from concerts. And then we had a house, the stories I can tell are fucking phenomenal, but we had a big giant house party at our house. The cops showed up at 8 o'clock at night telling us that we were supposed to get a block party permit if it was going to be this big. But they were cool. Pittsburgh cops, at that night, they were cool with us. But long story short, we borrowed the PA system from church. And we had all these fucking metal bands and shit like that. I mean, there was a metal band playing, and the drummer was in women's lingerie or some shit, and this was I've got the only evidence of this house party that I even have is one of the bands made a recording of the audio, and I have it somewhere in my archives of them playing We Got the Funk or something like that, and all you hear is all the people screaming and yelling in the background. It was nuts. But anyway, when I gave back the PA system to my boy at church, it had an extra microphone. I gave them Peter Steele's microphone from Typo Negative. I figured Jesus could use an extra microphone, and I stole it from a goth band. So I was like, whatever. I'm a generous guy. I'll give you back. I'll give you an extra microphone for hooking me up. And they used that shit. They were using Peter Steele's microphone in church to do church music, and I was the only one who knew. Well, me and a couple friends, we knew, but I didn't tell them where the microphone came from. But Jesus probably got a kick out of that. I'm sure he did. Pantera, like I said, I got to see Dimebag Darrell play with Pantera. We went lawn bowling. We had lawn tickets for Ozzfest, and the mosh pit started to break out for Pantera, and so I'm like, I was with a friend of mine that I ran into from art school, and I'm like, why don't we try bowling? And he's like, huh? And so I ran down the hill, and I jumped up in the air and tucked into a ball and plowed into the mosh pit like a bowling ball. And it just, this whole fan of people just fucking fanned out all across the lawn in a triangular shape. Like, it was like a dominoes. I went right in between the 1 and the 2 pin, knocked the whole fucking thing down and got a strike right there in the fucking lawn. There were like 100 bodies laid out in a triangle pattern going all the way down this fucking hill. When Pantera came on, they're like, and the security guards got knocked over too, because the whole thing it was like watching Peter Weber get a fucking strike, or Ernie McCracken get a fucking strike in the bowling game. It was crazy. So we invented mosh pit lawn bowling. Marilyn Manson was supposed to be there, but he wasn't. He was a no-show for Pittsburgh. I've seen that dude like 3 times. I'm like, I'm not a big fan of him. When their first album came out, we saw them with 9 Inch Nails at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, and that was a wild concert. Oh my, that was probably, I've been to so many damn concerts, I can't remember them all. That was one of the wildest concerts I've ever seen in my life. Not much has topped that, if anything. And then we saw Ozzy. He comes out. Ozzy, every time Ozzy did a show from like 1995 till now, it's always the same thing. He comes out, he does all of his solo songs. He'll have guests come on, guest guitar player, etc., etc. And then Black Sabbath comes out on the stage and they do all the Black Sabbath tunes. So it was fun. It was a good time. I mean, shit, that concert started at like 11 a.m. I didn't get home till 3 in the morning. I don't remember. Long time. They had a second stage. Coal Chamber is the only band that I remember seeing on the second stage that I liked. Downset, they had a song or two. But like, I can't even remember. I can't remember all the concerts I've been to because they used to be so cheap. Concerts used to be like 20. Fucking Ozzfest was probably $50. People were paying $2,000 to $10,000 to go see this last Ozzy show on the 5th. Anywhere from when I saw Ozzy, that shit cost like $50, and that was like $50 to go see Coal Chamber, Vision of Disorder, Neurosis, Downset, Slow Burn, Power Man 5000, Fear Factory, Typo Negative, Pantera, Marilyn Manson, Ozzy Osbourne, and Black Sabbath. Right? $50. Now, just to see Ozzy sit in a chair and sing a few tunes, $10,000. You want to go see Taylor Swift run around in her fucking leotard for a couple hours, it's what, $5,000. Like, what the fuck, man? No, I don't go to concerts anymore. I've seen enough. I went to so many fucking concerts that I just don't care anymore. I've been there, I've done it. I know what it's like. I like listening to live music. In fact, if Dave Matthews Band were to come here to the Woodlands Amphitheater, I would be like, damn, I'd like to get a ticket, but going to see Dave Matthews, that's a couple $100 for a fucking ticket to go sit on the grass. Easily. I'm assuming that's what it would be. And it will sell out 15 minutes after they go on sale. Boom, they're gone. It's like that episode of South Park. Oh, you want Dave Matthews tickets, and they're gone. That's it. You got like 2 seconds to get in there because all the bots, all the ticket scalpers now, they have bots, and so the bots are programmed to go buy 10,000 tickets in 3 seconds, and then there's no tickets for anybody else, and then so the ticket that was going to be $200 is going for $1,500 on some scalper website. The whole thing's a fucking joke. I'm not doing it. So I probably never go to a concert again. This girl at work, she's real quiet, never really talks, just kind of does her job, you know. She's young, she just got out of high school. She came into the bakery one day just to get cookies, and she's wearing a Deftones t-shirt. I'm like, what? Aren't you supposed to be into like Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus and all that? And she's coming in with a Deftones shirt on. I'm like, that's like old man metal now. Deftones, that was the music I grew up with. Deftones, man. That's like shit. That's like me listening to my dad's music. I didn't even know the Deftones are still a band. I'm like, so a few days later, she comes into work and I remembered, and I'm like, oh, I saw you were wearing a Deftones shirt, and all of a sudden now we're like friends. She's like, dude, she's asking me like, so how many concerts have you been to? Have you seen this band, that band, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, so we can talk, we have something to talk about now, and she talks. I'm like, that's cool. I was like, I used to go to all kinds of shows, but back then you could. to go see Marilyn Manson, Korn, and 311 at the nightclub Metropole, where I saw Typo Negative. I think those tickets were like $25. Fucking Pearl Jam. I saw Pearl Jam when they were selling out. I saw Pearl Jam. The tickets were like, I don't even think the tickets had to be like $35 a ticket. Had to be. Because we went and waited in line we knew that they would sell out instantly. So we knew that the Kaufman's department store in downtown Pittsburgh sold concert tickets, and not a lot of people knew that. So they were all lining up outside the record stores where they sell concert tickets. And we went up to it's like the 10th floor of the department store or whatever. We went in, there was a line, but it was short when we got there. And then the line started to get longer because we weren't the only ones that knew this, but it was kind of like not a lot of people knew this. And so the tickets go on sale. I got 4 with the intent of, I'm going to keep one for me, I'm going to bring somebody with me, and I'm going to sell the other 2. And I got my tickets. I started walking away. Someone behind me got their tickets, turned around. Lady at the window goes, sorry, we're sold out. The guy behind me, he holds up his hand. He goes, highest bidder. And he probably made like $500-600 right there. I could have done the same thing, but I had different plans. So, but that's how I got my Pearl Jam tickets when they were almost impossible. Just happened to be at the right place at the right time. I'm like, I'm going to sell them in the parking lot. I got 2 I'm going to sell in the parking lot. 1 I'm going to bring a friend. And that's what I did. That's what I did. I sold them mad bitches at the parking lot. I got a good chunk of change for those. But yeah, I mean, everybody dies. Ozzy's gone. Eddie Vedder is going to go. I wonder if Keith Richards is... I I bet Keith Richards got a good scare this week because he's probably next on the Grim Reaper's list. You know, Grim Reaper's going down his list like Santa Claus. He's like Ozzy, done Keith Richards. All right, where you at, Keith? Keith Richards been awfully quiet lately, huh? So, not the only one who dies. So, who was Roy Black? Someone else just passed away just this last week. If you didn't know, if that name doesn't ring a bell, it's understandable. Roy Black is the Miami attorney who represented Jeffrey Epstein. Imagine that. Donald Trump comes out and says, we're not talking about Jeffrey Epstein anymore. Why are you still bringing that shit up? Ain't what. You MAGA people are stupid for wanting to bring his clients to court. All of a sudden, Jeffrey Epstein's attorney is no longer among the living. Wild coincidence there, huh? But he was Miami defense attorney Roy Black represented high-profile clients, including Jeffrey Epstein and Justin Bieber. He's survived by his wife Leah and 2 children, but he was 80 years old. So, we can't just jump to conclusions here. But anyway, we all know Roy Black didn't kill himself. We all know why he died, but he is 80 years old, so, old people do pass away from time to time. It's not much different than there was an attorney, I don't know if you recall, a few years back in Pittsburgh. It was a big story. Penn State University had some Jeffrey Epstein-esque child molesters and human trafficking people on the coaching staff. One of them was named Jerry Sandusky. He is basically in prison for the rest of his life for molesting kids at the summer football camp. And he was one of the suppliers. Like, this Jeffrey Epstein shit's been going on for a long time, and a lot of this shit was being run out of Penn State. Joe Paterno, the most famous coach in college football history, cracked. It all happened right after the next. Joe Paterno was the biggest legend in football, coach with 300 wins, college football, national championships, the whole fucking thing. The most famous college football coach in history just got his 300th win, broke the record for the most wins in college football history, and like a few weeks later, his assistant coach is outed as one of the human trafficking child molesters, probably, supplying children to the elites just like Jeffrey Epstein did. And, they put him in prison, but turns out Joe Paterno knew everything that was going on, so now the reporters are banging on his door. What did you know, and when did you know it, and blah, blah, blah. And he got fired from his coaching job. The NCAA took away all of his college football wins, just like Lance Armstrong lost all of his yellow jerseys, even though he won the Tour de France 7 years in a row. They're trying to pretend that he didn't. Well, college football did the same thing with Joe Paterno. They're pretending that he never won a football game, even though he won like 300 some odd football games before he was fired. They took down his statue where the people used to worship him in Penn State over in Not So Happy Valley. And then like 3 weeks later, Joe Paterno dies from some weird ass cancer, and he's gone. Poof! Gone! And, guess we don't gotta look into that shit anymore, do we? Huh? And, so then they went and punished the school. And so all the kids at school, the football players, the fucking teenage kids that are in fucking college playing football, they were punished for this shit. The fucking child molesters didn't get punished. Well, the one did. He's in prison. But Joe Pa, he got to walk away from that. Be like, guess I'm gonna go die now. Dead men don't have tales to tell, do they? And So the kids got punished. Penn State was banned from like being in bowl games and being able to have like a postseason. They were able to have football games there, but they weren't allowed to like be in bowl games and be in the college playoffs or any of that shit. So the kids got punished because the coaches were a bunch of fucking child molesters. That sounds really fucking fair, don't it? Let's punish these innocent fucking kids because Joe Pa and his brigade and his buddy were, in on molesting. One of them was molesting the children. We don't know about Joe Pa. I mean, come on. If you got an Uncle Joe Pa coming to Thanksgiving dinner, he might be the one that mom tells you not to go in the room alone with. Just saying, I'm just saying. But anyway, he's not the only one that died all of a sudden when this came out and was mainstream news. There's a Pennsylvania attorney. His name was Roy Grykar. I think that Grykar. I've never known how to pronounce the guy's name. Grykar. It's right in front of me. This Pennsylvania attorney was investigating the child molesting camp at Penn State. Jerry Sandusky, the whole fucking operation, and all the high-ranking people that were involved with that. You got politicians, high-ranking politicians that were in on this shit. I mean, maybe speculation has said Rick Santorum and high up as the governors and different people in this fucking government were in on that shit. That was like one of the Jeffrey Epstein Island places you could go. Happy Valley, get a happy ending in Happy Valley. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, Roy Grykar went missing on April 15th, 2005. He was the district attorney of Center County from 1985 till 2005. And on April 15th, 2005, he went missing under mysterious circumstances. Imagine that. And he's never been heard from since. After he had been missing for a long time, in 2011, they declared him to be dead. Nobody knows where the fuck he was. His laptop was found at the bottom of the Susquehanna River by some fishermen, probably close to the decomposed remains of John Wilkes Booth. And if you're a metal fan, you either know the reference I just made or you don't. Call it another cool test. If you don't know, then you don't know. He was 8 months away from retirement when he mysteriously vanished. After taking the day off from work, he called his wife to tell her that he was driving through the Brush Valley area northeast of Center Hall, and he failed to return home. And late that evening, his wife reported him missing. The following day, investigators found his red Mini Cooper in the parking lot of an antique store in Lewisburg. The car contained his county-issued cell phone, but his laptop, keys, and wallet were all missing. The investigators identified no signs of foul play, if you can imagine that. Police and family members noted that the location of the vehicle was really close to a couple of bridges over the Susquehanna River. And, there was evidence that they suggested using sniffer dogs that maybe he got out of his car and got into the car with somebody else. Maybe with a black bag over his head, who knows. But on July 30th that year, fishermen discovered his county-issued laptop in the Susquehanna River beneath a bridge between Lewisburg and Milton. But, lo and behold, the hard drive was missing. The hard drive was not in the laptop. The laptop was in the river with no hard drive. Imagine that. So, 2 months later, someone recovered a hard drive on the bank of the Susquehanna River about 100 yards away from the location of the laptop. And investigators think maybe it came from his computer. I guess a lot of people just, when they want to get rid of their laptop, that's the place to do it. Throw it off. That's the bridge to toss it in the river right there. Data recovery teams from the FBI, Secret Service, etc., obviously failed to recover anything from it. Just like they failed to recover the missing videotapes that they said were missing because the cameras didn't work when Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. But now they're saying they have videos that show that he killed himself, even though the cameras weren't working and the guards were asleep. So they told us back then. Oh yeah, you can believe everything they say. Someone had used the home computer at the residence he shared with his wife to perform internet services, searches about how to wreck a hard drive, how to fry a hard drive, and water damage to a notebook computer. So anyway, yeah, there are basically three theories as to what happened to this guy. The primary is that he died by suicide, just as his brother had done. I guess his brother jumped off a bridge similar to the bridge where this laptop was found. The police, of course, just like Jeffrey Epstein, they're saying, well, that was definitely the most likely for sure. Yeah, he definitely killed himself. He said he had no history of depression or suicidal thoughts, and he was looking forward to retirement. Well, you got to retire a lot earlier than you thought, didn't you? 8 months early. The second theory is that he wanted to start a new life and go on the run, and he engineered his disappearance to make it look like he died. Multiple sightings were reported after his disappearance, most notably in a bar in Wilkes-Barre, where the bartender and an off-duty officer claimed to have seen him watching a baseball game. It's also been suggested that he took off to Central Europe. He was fluent in Russian and Slovenian. He had relatives in Slovenia and made trips to that region of the world in the past. And then the third theory is foul play. And, he was... suggestions were also made that his decision so he decided to decline prosecuting Jerry Sandusky for the alleged child sexual abuse that he's in prison for right now. And and then the police came and tried to accuse his own family of killing him. Yeah, this seems really legit. But yeah, he was one of the ones that investigating Jerry Sandusky for the elite child molesting football camp, the Happy Endings at Happy Valley scandal. And then all of a sudden he's like, nah, I don't want to prosecute this guy, and then he's dead. So, yeah, shit happens. So, I don't know. There's other things to talk about. I'm still watching the Tour de France. I'm almost to an hour on this video. Maybe I'll make it a shorter one today and just do another one where I planned on talking about that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just say peace out. I'm gonna go eat some dinner, figure out what I'm doing next, and we'll talk again.